Welcome to Good for Bitcoin, a weekly show recorded live every Friday where we recap the top events of the week and talk about everything that is good for Bitcoin. If it's built on Bitcoin, then it's good for Bitcoin. Let's get started.
Content shared on this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It does not constitute financial, investment, or legal advice. The views and opinions expressed are those of the host and guests and do not reflect the official policy or position of any other agency, organization, or company. We encourage you to conduct your own research and consult with a qualified professional before making any financial decisions.
And welcome to Good for Bitcoin. Today is a weekly show where we do every Friday, where we recap events of the week, talk about everything that is good for Bitcoin. If it's built on Bitcoin, then it's good for Bitcoin. And we have a very special show because we're actually doing a little bit of a DeGrants takeover today. We have Hero Gamer, who's up here as co-host, and Longstreet, who is co-hosting from Leather. Happy Friday, gentlemen.
Happy Friday. Always good to be here. What's up, Hero?
Hey, great to be here. Yeah. Great. I thought it would be great to collab, rather than two separate spaces. We have our weekly all hands, quote unquote. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love it. It was at least, in the US, a little bit of a short week with Memorial Day happening. So also kind of a lighter news week as well. So we don't really have as much to talk about as we might normally on other weeks. So makes total sense to do this week. And maybe we'll do some more in the future. But I think one thing that I wanted to talk about, which Hero, I wanted to get your take on it as well. Seems like one of the top stories of the week was this this scientific company, healthcare technology company called Semler Scientific, and on Tuesday they announced that they were adopting Bitcoin as their primary treasury reserve asset, and basically allocating about $40 million of their $62 million of cash to buy Bitcoin. And they're a publicly traded company. So, it's cool that we have another company in the US that is, a publicly traded company that has Bitcoin on their balance sheet. But before I maybe comment on it, maybe I'm curious what you guys think about this development this week.
That's the Michael Saylor playbook. It's starting to play out. And it's certainly more than the 1% to 2% that people throw out as like the conservative number.
Yeah, they kind of came out, talking about like Bitcoin as being, of course, a more reliable store of value and, comparing it to gold and things like that. But I don't know. To me, I felt like, I don't know. I felt a little bit of like cynicism with this announcement almost. Like it's definitely cool that like more companies are adopting it. But to me, it felt a little bit just like a $40 million marketing campaign almost.
Yeah.
The share price, I guess, I'm not sure what it is now, but like when the news broke, I think on the day, like their share price rose by like 29%, which is insane. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. It's cool, I guess that more companies are getting involved, but I don't know. I'm cynical, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. I just think it's to be expected. Like, I think for anyone who's been around in the space for a while, they've heard Michael Saylor talk. These things are just bound to happen. So it's not really surprising. It's just par for the course, I think, as people realize, because there's such a learning curve to Bitcoin, and it takes a while for people to, get their first introduction to it, where they probably write it off. And it takes like 2 or 3 times where they finally realize, yeah, I keep hearing about this. Maybe I need to do some research and due diligence. So I think like I said, I'm not surprised, and it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I do agree on it being just a matter of time. I think, especially for something like a publicly traded company, there's so much bureaucracy that's involved in these types of decisions. So, having somebody like when you look at MicroStrategy, for example, I guess their board is pretty unique in that Michael Saylor pretty much is kind of just under control basically of that company. So he was on board, and then immediately the company was on board. But with most publicly traded companies, it takes just a lot of buy-in from a lot of different executives and boards of directors and things like that to get these changes, implemented, and it takes a lot of time. So, even though MicroStrategy has been doing it for a long time already, it does kind of make sense that we haven't seen a ton of additional publicly traded companies get on board with Bitcoin yet, just because it does take so much time to orange pill basically every executive on these boards to ultimately make that change.
Yeah, true. It reminds me that in Santa Monica, there is the firefighters union, and they're the first union to ever collectively self-custody Bitcoin. So like it's happening on every level. It's happening at the corporate level, and individuals who are passionate about it, they're trying to figure out, how do I increase my exposure to Bitcoin in every area of my life.
Yeah, I love those examples as well. It's actually funny that you mentioned the Santa Monica thing. I was actually randomly in Santa Monica for a wedding like a year or two ago when they announced that, and I was like in Santa Monica, staying at a hotel just down the street from the fire department.
Wow.
And then they announced that. I was like, it's I had like to think that I have a small chance or a small involvement in that decision.
Yeah, nice.
Another one that I just wanted to highlight, just because they're friends of Trust Machines, is the Babylon team, and they had a really big news event where they announced that they had secured $70 million in a round that was led by Paradigm, and that's a lot of money. That's huge. So congratulations to them. Also included Polychain Capital, Bullish Capital, Hashkey Capital, and others. And that's a huge raise for a company in the Bitcoin ecosystem. So congratulations to them on their Bitcoin staking protocol.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, right? Like I think Blockstack raised, I don't know, I can't remember how much the initial rate was, just a few million, like back in the days. And then he raised probably the second time, and it was bigger, in the tens.
Yeah, I mean, not to toot our own horn, but when Trust Machines announced their raise a couple of years ago, that was $150 million, which was definitely seen as a ton of money. And it's great that we have a lot of big players that are getting funded and coming into this Bitcoin space. And it's good for Bitcoin for sure.
Yeah, for the Bitcoin space, 150 is definitely a lot. I think in the crypto, like Ethereum or the likes of the world, it's probably standard. But for us, Bitcoin space is definitely a lot.
Certainly. Well, Hiro, I see that you've been bringing up some folks, some other speakers here behind the scenes. I think we can probably turn the floor over to you and have you kind of lead with DeGrants. But maybe first, just for the audience that might not be familiar with the program yet, maybe you could just give a quick overview, and then we can get started with the the DeGrants portion of the episode today.
Yeah, sure. Everybody who normally comes up, do feel free to come up. I will invite all of you, anybody who's involved in DeGrants. But to give like a quick overview of what DeGrants is about. DeGrants sort of is basically a funding program, but is predominantly or almost like solely managed by the community. So it's a very decentralized way to manage a fund. We are almost like a DAO, but not a DAO officially. But yeah, it's leveraging community power, I would say, to really allocate money, and the way we see fit. And this not just involves money now. Now we are almost like just plugging projects into this DeGrant hub and helping them with marketing, helping them with go-to-market stuff, helping them with developer. We have creators here, creatives who need developers, and we happen to have just a bunch of talents now. We collected throughout the year through the community, through DeGrants cohort 1 and now cohort 2. Along the way, when we host all these spaces, we started collecting talents, and sort of by being transparent and completely out in open and public, the everything sort of just like rhyme like somehow it echoes with some people, and they really like to join here and participate. So yeah, essentially it's a funding program. We have 50K in the pot to allocate for different pillars of the ecosystem, such as NFT, BNS, um, developers, community and governance. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such an amazing program and an amazing movement. And I pinned the pinned tweet that you have on your profile, which lists out the daily DeGrants spaces that happen, which are essentially every day, every weekday is a DeGrant space, kind of focused on a particular topic, and then normally on Fridays is kind of the all up sort of recap of the week, which is what we're doing right now. So I know
Yeah,
we're also
it's
going
a
to,
recap of the week.
yeah.
Recap of the week. I just want to emphasize, but also to thank each other. I think to recognize each other's work, because all these work, unpaid volunteers coming together. Whether it's somebody from Hero. Actually, we have Raphael from Hero, or a Crossfire or Aztec from Metaverse. We got Metaverse founder, we got community builders, we got NFT artists, all these people coming together, doing really critical work like grassroots. And we really need to give these people really highlights and shout out. And so I think another purpose of the Friday, actually, in my mind, super importantly, is to allow all these people to shine and congratulate each others.
Yeah, that's incredibly important, and for yes, for such an important, project, for such an important movement, and group of community members in this space, it's definitely, I agree, very important to recognize all the contributions that everyone is making. Um, and I guess, that's a question I have for you is, where is kind of, I guess, the funding coming from? It's all community funded, right? So could you talk maybe a little bit about that and how folks that might want to get involved might be able to?
Yeah, so it's basically sponsored by Stacks Foundation. Through Cohort 1, we funded various other projects. It was 25,000, also came from the Stacks Foundation. And I mean, we even funded a Goland SDK. We funded an NFT project, Good Kitties project called Stacks Mixtape. Yeah, so we funded different things, and as we evolve, we basically said, well, it's like, if foundation can see progress, we basically, well, I will go to the foundation and say, hey, can you give us more money because we're doing a good job? Hopefully, you see the difference. So yeah, that's what happens. Sort of simply put, like, I try to let them know the positive impact that he has, and try to grow the fund that way. So it isn't coming directly from the pocket of the community, but it's interesting that you mentioned this point, that actually you have another complete separate, even more grassroots movement, donation by the Welsh community. They created their own pot of money for almost 40K. We have 50K from the foundation. You have like two types of grassroots movement going on. One is sponsored but managed by the community. You have a complete grassroots donation. I donated to the Welsh community as well, and they manage their own fund. So yeah, so that's the gist of it.
Yeah, definitely shout out to the Welsh community. I've tried to tune into every space that they've had with the 100-day giveaway, and that is just an amazing thing to be a small part of. So very, very cool program. And yeah, I think just overall, through initiatives like DeGrants and through what the Welsh community is doing and many other, initiatives as well. I think Stacks is just one of the most just helpful communities out there, honestly, for builders, for anybody that's trying to get into this space. And I've said it a lot, on this show. You don't need to be an engineer or a developer to be a builder. There are so many things that you can do to contribute to this space and to contribute to building up Bitcoin. And it's just a great time to build. And there's so many resources that are out there. So, um, yeah, I'm excited.
Hero, let me ask you this. So you are the number one spaces man. You are the hero of all spaces, and you have the master list. Anyone who's involved on building on Bitcoin, they are on your radar. And I was wondering if you could just shout out some of the regular spaces, because I mean, as I see, you're just present all the time. So for anyone else who wants to make Twitter appearances, X appearances, a full time job like you, um, where can they check out all of the spaces happening, or what
Oh,
are some
God, it's literally every
regular?
day, and it's really hard to keep up as well. um, Yeah, Monday, Tuesday is the big DeFi day. It's like I think Tuesday is like a super Tuesday. I don't know why everybody put all the spaces on Tuesday. You have in the morning Stacks DeFi, and right after I try to tag on our DeGrants DeFi onto that. And then in the afternoon, you have NFT space, and then you have like Stacks London space sometimes. Um, yeah, I have a whole list. It's hard to sort of communicate that, but the biggest spaces in general is probably the Tuesday DeFi ones from the Stacks Foundation handle. That's probably a really good one to tune in to learn about DeFi. And I would say actually one of the best, one of my own favorite actually is like Tuesday afternoon one, run by Good Kitty, because she has like a really tight knitted super good vibe of creators coming together. A lot of ladies in that group really like, it's just like that good feeling that you want that type of space you want to tune in, which makes it, very, I think, quite rare in the space because we have a lot of working space, quote unquote, where we, discuss serious stuff. But they also do that, but they somehow manage to have really good vibe, really good fun, a lot of laughter. So I actually highly recommend that space. And then we have like a Friday OG space. So right after this, today is, yeah, 3 o'clock at 5 p.m. ET. There's an OG space, which I really like as well because it's almost like your point of first contact. You come into Stacks ecosystem, you can directly connect to these OGs, which is not super common, but everybody is so open-minded there. Like if you jump in, it's your first NFT project. If you're 13 years old, which we have a guy, a guy in the ecosystem, but he helps on. He talks about his stuff, and yeah, it's great. Good vibes.
I love that. Well, if we want, we have some other speakers here as well. Love to hear from who do we have here? We have Hattie, Crossfire, Davek. Would love to yeah, bring you guys up. Feel free to to come up and chat with us.
Yeah, no, it's a great space. Thanks for having me up here. Yeah, no, it's been exciting working with DeGrants. I like the form it's taken this year, this time around. So I think it's really doing a more streamlined way of breaking it into like these different focus areas and like making the conversation a lot more productive for like that particular work stream. So like having it broken out in the different subsections with DeFi and BNS and governance, etc. I think it's been good because it also has kind of filtered the right people into those spaces that are really passionate about those subjects. So I don't know. It's just been cool to like observe, as we're going through this, the evolution from the first time around. and see just kind of like the new entrants into the Stacks ecosystem, them being excited with new ideas. I just really think once we open it up to the applications, we're going to get some good stuff this year. So yeah, that's really my thoughts.
Hey all, I'm Hadi, and I'm new to this. Thank you for walking me up to the stage. I've only joined in cohort 2, but some of the things I've learned is how supportive the Stacks community is, and how welcoming everyone is. And definitely, a crossfire. What he said was that we definitely have a lot of new talent, and the direction in cohort 2 is very good this year. So I head up the DeFi track, and I'm also on BNS, and also supporting NFTs.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, we just have so many good people in the space, and I think if you just allow them to have something to do, they will start like start participating. So I think it's almost like giving people a little bit of mission, you know? It doesn't have to be like world changing or anything, but if there isn't some kind of purpose or mission somewhere out there, like people don't know what to do typically, right? So you don't have to tell them what to do, but if you just allow, you know, allow somewhere to contribute, I think some people will naturally rise up to the task or to some purpose. And that's what I've been going through personally, like just like planting some seeds there, allow people to say, if you want, you can put your hand up to do this. And you see people like Hattie, who, you know, wasn't in Stacks last year. I believe he only joined this year. And then we happen to have some initiatives that some, you know, stuff we need to accomplish here in Stacks DeGrants. And then he just like plugs himself in. And now he's like helping people to strategize their projects. So for example, like you could have like a Boom wallet, or you have Uasu, the DeFi thing, that zero slippage platform that Raphael is developing. So Hattie would basically go out and to all these projects saying, "Can I have a call with you? Can I help you?" And then he just helped them out. Like it's incredible, and he helps us out, helps us to think about how DeGrant would look like, you know, in the future. And he goes out and to NFT steward, Good Kitty, say, "Can I arrange a call with you?" And then help them out. It's just for me, it's just so incredible to see like all these community member like rising up. Yeah.
Yeah, and we talk about the growth that's happened as well. I pinned the tweet from Algorithm, who posted this yesterday, on Stacks reaching a transaction volume all time high. So the proof is in the numbers. You know, there's definitely been just a ton of growth in Bitcoin DeFi, and specifically on Stacks this year. And yeah, that's a huge huge milestone, right? To reach a new all time high that happened this week.
Awesome. If it's cool, it's Devek from the developer builder track. I'll jump in. So super excited. I'll give a little recap of what we completed this week, along with where we're at and what we're looking forward to. So super excited. Obviously everyone's been putting in, we're probably at hundreds of hours at this point, maybe thousands, but super excited. We were able to get all of our outlines and ready to go for the site. So as the last few weeks, we've been putting all that together. A lot of good collaboration, a lot of good insight from everyone, from the stewards and all the community. So we really appreciate all the effort that's put in there. Also, two things we're really excited about is, one, we're really excited about the upcoming release of the site, along with the outreach that we're looking to do, trying to really inject ourselves and invite people that are out in the space building, not only from a developer perspective, but also trying to really see how we can help out and like connect people. And I think that's where, the number one thing, I think, or if I could parlay what I was or said earlier by Hero, is that really seeing the DeGrants as a resource to the community, finding it's just not about just development, but it's also getting developers connected with all the right resources, from the designers, the marketing, the go-to plan, the business perspectives, and really just trying to get everyone to cohesively work as a team and a group. And I think, we're not necessarily competing with anyone, but we're all building for the same ecosystem. So we're really excited for the outreach and the collaboration that's going to come up here in the next few weeks. We're also super excited for anyone in the builder and developer space on our Monday calls at 9:30 Pacific and 12:30 Eastern is to, obviously stop in, start, exchanging ideas and how we can collaborate and how we can help you along that process on that application. I'll give some shout outs as well. Aztec, appreciate your time you spent with me in the builder and developer track. I want to give a shout out. I don't think they're here. I want to give a shout out to Grant for all his hard work on the site he's done. Obviously, Hero, the master lead steward, kudos, etc. I don't think this would all be happening without him. And then the
Oh
last
my
part,
God, I just got myself a title,
yeah,
Master
no,
Lead. I didn't think about it.
master. Hey, look, it's truth. It's been said. It's been recorded. It is what it is, Hero. So just accept it. And the other scenarios, other things I wanted to shout out is that shout out to all the lead stewards and the stewards doing what they can. And I think the thing that and then I'll get off my soapbox is it's again, Hero, great opportunity where the DeGrants program allows you to take that ownership and the leadership, because you can either go all in or participate to whatever that feels comfortable. And so I think the program allows the leadership to move forward, and it's a very decentralized way. So I think it resonates with a lot of people, and I think that's why we're all so committed to the program and we want to see it succeed. Again, I've only been here for the DeGrants 2 scenario, but already I feel the community, and we're growing something and we're building something together. But we wouldn't have done it without your ultimate beginning leadership. So appreciate you, and again appreciate Trust Machine and Leather for hosting the space and giving us this venue to kind of promote and get the word out about DeGrants. So thank you guys.
These are not paid shields, by the way. These people are not paid actors. So no, joking aside, no, David is being super helpful. He's got his own project going on. He's his own founder, and he comes in and be that, sort of mentor to help guide other developers and setting the model, and collaborating with other developers and setting the culture. We got Raphael in the group. We got educators in the group. We have, just different talents, different developers' talents. And what's special about that is when you put all these people in the same room, we start to talk about, okay, how can we actually, not just through funding, like funding is just one single-sided perspective of solving a problem and moving the developer ecosystem forward. How can we actually have true contributor to the Stacks ecosystem, not just visitors, right? Because we're seeing a lot of visitor sort of people who just come in and get the money and then develop something and go, and then that thing is like kind of dead or unmaintained. So we don't want to replicate the same mistakes from other grants program. So we want to actually have a healthy, sustainable, high quality allocation of money towards sustainable developer growth ecosystem. And by discussing some important topics, we really sort of nail down, okay, what's the problem, what's the challenge, and able to have real solutions for it. So I think, and one of the biggest solutions that we came up with through this conversation is collaboration. So in my opinion, the whole theme about DeGrants Cohort 2 is all about collaboration. And we already have seen success in, even before we launched it, we already connected with more than 5 projects, plug them into DeGrants and help them out already. And these are done without money. It's just people's time and expertise and willingness to help each other. So yeah, I just want to highlight that.
Well,
I can't hear Brian.
I can't hear anyone, but if I could also just extend that, I think it's a perfect example. As DeGrants is the example of how this can work for individuals, projects, etc. So this is the model to articulate how we can move forward. And as of, I mean, again, I think there's great promise here because we're already doing what we want to do within the space, and we're already collaborating. We're already inviting and welcoming, and we're trying to open that those pathways and those abilities to contribute. So super excited, and again, super excited to be a part of this. But I just want to reiterate, I do think the DeGrants is showing a model that can be sustainable, and it does draw a certain type of individuals that are interested in participating.
Yeah, I think it's almost becoming like a little early founders matching or Kickstarter incubator kind of little hub. So if you meet someone who is a developer, doesn't have a front end UI UX, and you want to quickly rapid prototype something, we actually got Blockface is on the stage. Like he's like tinkling with AI. I called him the rapid prototype with AI guy. And I met him on a space. Like he wasn't here like 2 months ago, but somehow we met on spaces. I didn't know how, through somebody else. And then he started plugging himself, like doing like all kinds of AI stuff with Clarity and AI assistant stuff with educating on Clarity. Like it blows my mind. So I think by working in public, out in the open, you do attract different type of people, and we are all about transparency and collaboration in DeGrants. And yeah, you just start connecting with other random contributors, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's actually one thing that I really appreciate about this space is that everyone is so willing to be building out in the open. If I'll give just a shout out to like the Leather team. Like if you look at the Leather GitHub, like our team is very active in there and discussing what the next features are. It's almost like a way of like getting alpha just by watching all the activity that's happening in the GitHub. It's really cool to be part of such an open community.
Yeah, I'd love to maybe hear from Blockface. You're relatively new to Stacks. How do you feel? And then maybe I'd love to hear from Photok as well, because he's been designing our logo. We actually got a branding and marketing team from nowhere. I don't know how it happened, but it happened. And then they're all like, yeah, super proud of them. Yeah, Blockface, what's up?
Look, I think Ethereum on Bitcoin is a great idea. That's the idea, right? That bringing Ethereum to Bitcoin. So, now that I got that, it's like, okay, let's, what do we need to do? Smart contract languages. Well, I'm not a developer, but this AI thing is, so I use VoiceFlow, fed it some smart contracts. And yeah, I was working with Hattie this morning to try to make contracts more accessible to people by explaining the Clarity contract in terms of their favorite video game, TV, show, musician, artist, TV, movie. So yeah, you can test it out below. We have about 20 use cases that people have asked for Clarity smart contracts. So I'd love to hand that off to someone to take a look at.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate your expertise, your specialism that you're bringing in, that we don't have a lot in Stacks, and I think you really plug a really good hole there, like showing all this sort of thinking from the opposite side, from the user side, and plugging in AI with it and creating like user flow already before you even develop the code. I think yeah, it's just a super cool. Like you have developer who sort of starts from the code, and you have the opposite end. Like you start creating stuff without all that stuff. You test the use cases first, experiment with like 20 different use cases, and then maybe you pick one of them that's the people think is cool, and then you probably develop the code. Yeah, so I think it's a really different approach, and that the DeGrants can benefit from your experience.
Just a quick housekeeping thing as well for any speakers. If you want to pin, any of the projects or anything that you're working on to the space or include it in the replies or anything like that, definitely feel free to do that so the audience can go check it out and learn more.
Yeah, one quick logistic. I basically have everything ready for DeGrants right now, minus a bit of text. Just David. Oh, I don't know where David is. Oh, where are all the leaders? Anyways, yeah. So I think I can announce it today. So I will pin once I make the post, I'll pin the post to the top. Then we are open for applications. But I will highly, highly, highly recommend everybody join the space first. Share your concept, share your idea, because that's where we can actually help you scope it and help you tell you like what we are missing or what we are not missing. Really plug you into the Stacks ecosystem. So yeah, just want to make that quick announcement. And next Tuesday is our launch party, which I'll also pin the tweet up, and there's a collaboration between us and Council. Is somebody speaking on Mount Rock?
I can hear you.
No, you're good. I guess I'll just jump in and mention I didn't plan it, but I joined the console today, and I guess we now have over 100 members in the console now, which is incredible. So really awesome that there's so many folks in there that are looking to support the space, and I guess I was the 100th member. So GG.
Yeah, I think of it as a talent pool, really, like where if you're a founder you're a developer founder, you can come in. We'll help you with whatever skill set you're missing. If you're creatives, maybe we'll help you and you got some ideas or project you want to do, but missing developers, we also got that resource. So I just think of it as a big pool of talents, to be honest. Yeah. But yeah, maybe Photo, do you want to share your journey or how you became the brand lead?
Yeah, thanks, Hero. Yeah, completely by accident. It was, I think, going back to a couple of spaces I joined with yourself and Snazzy from BNS. We just got chatting generally, and you were saying about the DeGrants program, which I knew about from last year, but wasn't really very active or involved or didn't apply at the time. I was busy with like photography. So yeah, it came about totally by accident and jumped into console with an invite from yourselves, and it went from there. Met Nieta, awesome designer, and yeah, it was just a complete. It was nothing planned. As I say, it was just purely from a couple of other spaces, just like randomly, and it snowballed from there. And it's absolutely amazing, and what a great community Stacks is, I must say, as you're all aware. But the grants program, especially decentralized grants, is it's astonishing. The people involved and the way you lift everybody up, and when we're on board, so many others. I'm so privileged to be a part of it, and as I say, totally unexpected. So I'm just very proud to be a part of it with you guys, and I've met so many great people along the way. Been in crypto, for many years, like everybody else. Just through photography, Stacks back in, I think 2000, I think 2001 maybe. I bought some stacks, discovered some platforms. Not sure we're allowed to mention where, but well, Gamma, and always wanted to mint some photography on Gamma, like way back about 3 or 4 years ago, and there wasn't really like a lot going on there with photography. I mean, other art, of course, which is totally amazing. So finally, probably a bit late in my eyes, well, maybe never too late, I decided to mint some photography on there, and I would love to see that really take off on stacks, to be honest, like in other blockchains, and obviously too on Bitcoin. It's pretty big on Ethereum, but not massive, obviously, like other art. There's so much good art out there. So photography is really like still a niche in the world of Web3, and it'd be great to try and onboard a lot of so-called Web2 photographers, users into this ecosystem on stacks. That would be my ultimate aim to do so. I can reach out to quite a lot of people, but through the DeGrants, that is a perfect opportunity for them to come in, I would say, to make an application and see what their ideas are, and they can go forward from there. So yeah, thanks to you, Hero. Everybody's hero, mate. I've got to say that. It's probably a cliche by now, but big thanks to you and all the Stacks team and the DeGrants team and everyone involved. So just happy to be here. Thank you very much.
Hey, Photog, I just want to jump in real quick and say how really happy I am to see all the notifications of the activity that you're bringing in console, because photography is what got me into Stacks. I launched early on with Stacks, art on Stacks, but they kind of like disappeared, and then just started working more with Gamma. And yeah, there's been like an ebb and flow. You know, there was the Stacks Photography Guild for a while, but it just kind of fizzled out. So I see you as being at the helm of bringing it back.
Oh, wow. Big big shoes to fill. Is that Longstreet?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Love your work, mate. And yeah, I hope you're
Thank you.
living a good life in France now, was it? You said the other day, I think, in the space.
Yeah. We transitioned,
cool.
moved from Venice Beach, Los Angeles to France last August. So yeah, it's been, the kids are wrapping up their first school year,
Nice.
and it's gorgeous out. It's out in the French countryside, obviously, no surprise there. I'm actually flying back to California this Thursday to do a few weeks, see family, check in. But yep, I actually don't want to leave. I don't really. I just want to be here. It's pretty nice. So, and one of these days, I'm going to get into releasing some more images of the surrounding beauty out here. But thanks.
Hope so. I'd like to see them. Yeah, thanks, Longstreet. Yeah, it would be amazing actually to really let photography take off on this ecosystem, on Stacks especially, and then lead to Bitcoin, I guess. Well, obviously, and through DeGrants is a perfect way, I think, gateway for people to come through, especially photographers. Not only photographers, obviously, all sorts. We've got music, we've got artists, we've got writers.
Truly.
So it's exciting, and it's about to. Well, it's launched already, hasn't it? So, what was your advice?
Yeah, so
about not applying yet. Sorry.
it's not. I'm just. It's the anyway. It's launching right now. It's launching right now. But anyways, I think it's amazing to see like Good Kitty. Like you give her a bit of a room to sort of take that responsibility and leadership role, and then she just like runs with it and collect all these different creatives from I don't know where, and it's just so amazing. And I think same can be said for each track. If you have like a really good leader, or a really good team, they will just run like, and because it's kind of focused now, and then they can really get together in the same room with the people who they feel they have the same passion. So I think it's about like putting this people who have the same passion in the same room, and they will just hash out different stuff, which is pretty cool to watch, because I don't know NFTs like they do, but I believe like they know better than me. So why don't we just put the same like really smart people in the same room together? And I tried to do that for every track, and then it's worked out.
Yeah, I would say you have done it. You're not trying to do it, you have done it, and you're right there with people with share the same passions, and then across the board, other people come in that are passionate about other stuff. Everyone's got their own angle and what they're good at, so it's good to collaborate, like you said earlier, on all different kinds of tracks. So yeah, exciting times.
Yeah, I say my joke is I'm just like I'm not like the Avengers with superpower, but I'm more like a Nick Fury. Nick Fury.
Yeah,
I put them together.
yeah, cool.
Yeah, but no, thanks for your work. Your logo work is super cool. Oh, your templates. I think is it Neta designed the logo, but you put
Yeah,
the sort of the brand guide together
yeah,
and the templates for us to use. Yeah,
yeah,
which is super useful.
cool.
If you do have a landscape one, I'll love that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
uh,
sitting at desktop now, listening in and just trying to do that one as well. So yeah, you'll get that, mate. I know I've promised you a lot of things, but it's been manic, so they're all coming. Don't worry.
what I really want is a DeGrants logo one collaboration with the council, next to it. So that's why I wanted it because I want to get ready for Tuesday. So I
Right.
want to start like sending it out so that they know the event is, us two entities, if you like. But yeah,
If you got time, could you just remind me in a DM exactly, like list it what you want next to it, and is
yeah, sure, sure,
that all right?
sure. Yeah,
Thanks, Hero.
Aztec, you've been a little bit quiet.
So it's good, right? Giving everyone, a little bit of stage.
I think
Well,
this
it's
is like a practice run for next Tuesday.
I always have the thunder when we are on the DeGrants track, right? So I thought this was a takeover, so decided everyone to let take over.
Yeah, Aztec has been amazing. He's got like a real company going on, and he's gonna be at NFT Fest in July as well. And he's like a super smart dev as well. I don't know what he doesn't do, to be honest, and I still wonder why he's here helping us every day. Sometimes, like he's got a really good team. He's got his own team, and he's got his own metaverse business to look after. Feels like he's pretty accomplished already, but yeah, he wants to integrate BNS, by the way, trust machines. Just to let you know that
Oh
we are
wow,
in.
you're making it's the idea is to make friends, Hero.
No, it's all good. Yeah, BNS is super important to Aztec. He wants to do it in the metaverse. So it's a pretty key tech for him. Is that right, Aztec?
Yep, it's pretty much one of the important things, but also stacks in general because it's the layer two for Bitcoin, right? So, and I actually come from way back developing on Bitcoin, and it's this space started about the difficulties to actually develop on Bitcoin, and this is also what the benefits of the Nakamoto upgrade, and from my experience, you just said like you don't know why I got involved in DeGrants. The best way to learn and to understand how technology works is to interact with the community and actually contribute. And there are two ways, right? It's like you don't do this all solo in a black box kind of basement, or you can just expose yourself and say like, hey, let's see what I can bring to the table, right? And usually when you bring something to the table, you get a whole lot back. And I don't know if you guys have been watching what has been happening around our project. Like Hero said, we are a metaverse, so we are like getting partners, people doing their ordinals and their NFTs, bringing them to life. A lot of communities on the stacks in stacks are also bringing their skills and their people up because they're so excited to get into the metaverse, right? Like today, it's like Bitcoin Pepe. It's like the Nagamojis. We have there's someone actually in Discord said like, oh, we need a pizzeria for the ninjas, right? So this is awesome and this is so cool. And what brought me to DeGrants was curiosity. What kept me was the amazing people that I work with every day of the week. So and they are truly amazing.
Yeah, I think your metaverse is interesting because you're not only incorporating stacks, but you're also incorporating ordinals. Is that right?
Ordinals, we actually have also like we started on BNB chain, so we actually have some NFTs from there. We are actually doing work with Bored Ape and a couple of other Ethereum projects. So we are pretty much blockchain agnostic, and Stacks actually allows us to think a bit ahead and also bring like the blockchain family into this Web3 space, because Web3 space is everyone, and Bitcoin just needs to be there, and ordinals, that's pretty much when it comes to memes and everything, right? It doesn't matter what people think about it, but this is the way. But what I think it's the biggest game changer is that we are like a metaverse that has been building in silence. We have been experimenting a lot last year. We haven't like blowing a lot of bells and whistles. And NFT Fest is, of course, where we are the main sponsor and doing a lot of things, bringing everything together. And this is kind of like our year where we are slowly getting to this part where we exposing what we can do. And thank you so much for the compliments. We do indeed have a wonderful team who work really hard every day. It's one of the most difficult fields to operate in, especially in GameFi, where there's a lot of over promising and under delivering. But we're happy where we are at this moment.
Hey guys, so jumping in here. I think like we've been talking a lot about like how these kind of groups have been forming together, but one of the things I'm kind of excited to think about is, what kind of things the community is going to be bringing forward to us. And I think we can already maybe get some signs of some of the ideas that we might start hearing a lot more this year. Obviously, there's been a lot more like AI related ideas that have come up even in these early conversations amongst those that are kind of really paying attention to DeGrants. And I'm just kind of curious. I'm wondering like what other things you guys think might be trends this year in regards to, what you've just kind of seen going on in the ecosystem, what things we've already got built, and now we have enough like base building blocks that maybe we're looking at like higher level DeFi apps or things like that. What do you guys think might be some of the trends we might see?
I think the best person to talk about that would be Rocky, who's listening.
I'll say something while kind of we're waiting for some other folks to chime in. I think we've seen so much activity with meme coins lately, and I really love when meme coins sort of come about kind of from nowhere, and then those teams eventually come in and create some amazing and useful tool. I'm thinking like the Leo team, right? That has like Stacks tools, and their Stacks, browser essentially. Tools like that are amazing. I'm reflecting on, a few years ago, um, I saw kind of a similar thing happen with Solana, where there was like certain, Solana coins and NFT projects that came about and were creating actual like utility versus just, just a meme. And I love seeing projects like that where real utility and real useful things can come about from these types of projects.
Well, one of the trends that I am kind of like predicting, and actually I'm counting on it, this is also what we do in our metaverse, right? Is that NFTs and meme coins are going to be focused more on utility. So instead of just being a meme coin, like going on to a hype, but actually being able to do something with it. In regards to NFTs, when a couple of years ago, when the whole meme hype started, everyone was like shocked, but that brought like mass attention to blockchain. Blockchain has been around for quite a while, but that actually got to people. But now that's an old song. And I think the new tune is like, hey, I'm going to get this NFT, and how I'm going to get some yield from it. How am I going to get some other more utility from it? And we see so much opportunity where you see a beautiful hybrid mix of DeFi, NFT, and meme coins, right? Just for example, token gating.
On the topic of token gating, I think token gating is going to be much more important as people use things like ChatGPT to make Python bots and sort of scalping and all of that. Like you think it was bad before, it's gonna get way worse. And so like as like application and service builders, we have to keep that in mind is that like users don't like getting scalped, right? Like if I'm a big supporter of so Blockface, he actually used to be a stand-up comedian in around the Toronto, Canada area. And so he is familiar with sort of that scene and stand-up comedy. And so just even like ticketing for these things, right? Like when you go and buy tickets, like we all just accept that Ticketmaster scalps us already. And then there's other scalpers scalping the tickets that Ticketmaster scalps us on, right? And so there's all these like systems and players in place that are like, middleman just taking money from users who just want to support the creators, right? And so for me, if we can, as platform builders and app builders, if we can sort of reduce that, I'm all for it, right? So easier tools for token gating and managing just because the event creators, like they just care about throwing events, right? They just want to tell their jokes, right? Sell their tickets, sell their merch or whatever, right? They don't want to think about all this other stuff. And so for me, token gating is already available on platforms like Shopify. So you sell your tickets on Shopify, you sell your products on Shopify. You can token gate that with an NFT that's in your wallet. Would love to see more of that from the Stacks side. I do know it's available with the guys from Ethereum and Solana, right? So would love to see some kind of integration with Stacks and in e-commerce.
It's pretty much what we're doing in our metaverse, because basically when for example Bitcoin Pepe, right? If you're like a holder, right, you have a playable character, and because we have a lot of B2B to C, this opens up all these opportunities, and this will be a really good test ground this summer, and it hopefully it will inspire a lot of people, not just in metaverse, but also like, hey, wow, there's actually a lot of demand for this, and usually it takes one big mover to move others.
Yeah, can I chime in here because it's a super relevant topic to not just DeGrants, but like next Tuesday we're hosting a event on council. I mean that event is free, but actually Trip a Monkey down there, who is like a super chat dev, like he's spec'd out this sort of, I don't know if it's live yet, but a small contract that is native and enshrined though this royalty distribution redistribution directly to the small contract, so you don't have to rely on the marketplace anymore. You can building that into the contract level. And I was thinking, like, could this be working with council? Like, if that integration is there, that means you can just have creators directly earning through hosting events. Yeah, like bypassing all these marketplaces. So, and if you're a DAO and you have your own server in console, like all the money will get fully allocated to whoever contributed to that event. Yeah, so I just thought that was an interesting maybe integration into console itself, since you guys are developing this event sort of feature. Yeah, I just wonder what you guys think.
Yeah, there was already interest in these types of use cases, right? I think it's one of the reasons why the Solana guys have sort of blockchain level enforcement of royalties, right? So these like different sort of standards for NFTs where the royalties are enforced like on chain, right? So a real world use case where someone asked for this was so there is this Italian restaurant in Toronto, Canada. They have like the stage, right? So typically they have musical artists come and play, but in this particular case, it was a comedian, and so he was selling tickets, and so before they were just selling like paper tickets, right? And it was really ineffective. It was hard to pay out everybody, and so I proposed that we, just sell the tickets online on Shopify, right? We'll connect it to a QR code, and so when people are at the door, they pull up their phone, they scan the QR code, they get to come in, right? And by doing this on sort of online, right, in sort of a database and through the Shopify system, you can track who bought a ticket and didn't show up, right? And so there were some ask on like, oh, how do we like resell the ticket, right? So that's an example, like the venue like can hold like 100 people for example, right? But only like 60 people showed up. And so like now we have 40 seats that are open, paid for, but how do we resell those things, right? How do we know these people are coming or not, right? And so um I think like using NFTs is an interesting use case here because you don't like sort of the double spend, right? Is that you don't double sell these tickets, and then there's also like free like fake tickets and things like that, right? And so, been thinking about this use case quite a bit. Like, how do we do ticketing for not like super large events like Ticketmaster type stuff, but even just like small mom and pop like restaurants? Because that's how we kind of like instill sort of these use cases in sort of more grassroots, right? It becomes more useful, and then the platforms start noticing when the small shops start using this type of stuff. But yeah, on the royalty side, like the person who paid for that work, he was asking questions like, "Oh, like, is there a way to like directly pay everyone who's involved?" Right? So let's say the ticket is $10, right? And then how do we automatically split that between the comedian, the restaurant who is providing the space, right? The organizer, which is the person who paid for the work, right? So like pretty much once the ticket is bought and paid for, that contract basically splits it up, right? Which is exactly what Hero was kind of talking about. Is that you don't need to put this in a sort of like a controlled wallet or a multi-sig or whatever, right? It just goes to everyone's wallet automatically once purchased and finalized.
Yeah, that is actually something that that Castig, who is the GM at Console, has talked about. Is anyone that joins Console and uses their Leather wallet, to join, immediately has a wallet connected to their Console ID. And even if you don't connect a Leather wallet, if you just sign in with an email, technically there is a wallet in the background that is associated with that email. And if you are part of a console space or a console community, you could potentially be airdropped something. If the creators of that community choose to do it. So that is definitely a potential use case that is being explored with console right now.
SPF.
So it's all very interesting, but wouldn't it be better to look at a better chain than like an energy Ponzi that has no throughput, that's like an interesting experiment that Bitcoin is, and just realize that like it's over, no one's adopting it in the world, like, it just doesn't make any sense for anyone that can't scale, things like this. No one cares about it, it's boring, etc. Like no one uses it and it already takes up so much energy. Like it's just no one's going to use it. Obviously, why would the world commit to something that's an endless energy want sink for for just doing useless equations? Like there's 10,000 other coins. Why don't you guys pick one that makes some kind of sense or has some kind of value proposition? Maybe Chia. Chia might be your best bet. Check out Chia. That's like a
Yeah,
scalable Bitcoin.
no. This is
Have you looked at Chia?
this
Have you looked at
this
Chia?
part was
Have you
two
looked at
years
Chia?
ago.
Have you looked at Chia
This part
potentially
was
solving
2 years ago.
Oh, 3
So
years ago. Oh, okay. Maybe that's why no one's adopted it. It's because they figured it out 3 years
maybe
ago.
I'll send you some articles about how
Exciting. Have you looked at Chia?
actually is. Anyways,
Have you looked at Chia?
I have actually.
Tell me your thoughts on it.
Anyways, yeah, shall we move
Who
on?
gave SBF a phone?
I mean, it's another Nakamoto protocol, but it's
Yeah, let's leave it there. Good kitty.
Hey everyone, how you doing?
Yeah, great. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I just saw this on my phone now, so I just thought I'd pop in and say hi.
Hey. Yeah,
So are we
I'm just ready to ready to make the post actually. Yeah, I think we can go live now. Actually, I just did. So
finally, thank God. As you can see, I've been waiting all day for that.
I need to turn on the accepting application thing in the form itself. But yeah, I'm gonna turn them on now because somebody submitted one earlier. But yeah, all good. How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm
Are
so
you
excited.
late there now?
Yeah, it is quite late, but yeah, I'm super excited, and yeah, I can't wait for it to kick off and to see the applications come in. Hopefully, we're going to get a lot of creatives. I'm looking forward to things like literature. I think that's something we haven't seen on Stacks, so I'm quite excited to see what we get from that. And I think there's a lot of good photographers that have kind of been DMing me and excited about it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to some new kind of, new art as well that we haven't seen on Stacks before, and really just invigorating the NFT scene. It's been quiet for some time, and I've been passionate about it for a long time. So fingers crossed, yeah. How are you feeling?
Yeah, great. No, I just been. I don't really like too much like writing, documenting stuff. I'm more of a visual person, and doing all this paperwork like it bores me a little bit. I know they are necessary, but I gotta get them done. So just like I'd rather be on spaces, helping people, connecting people, that kind of stuff. But yeah, but it's pretty much all done now. If there's any improvement of text, like do send those across. That's for any track. So Hadi, if you do have any updates for any of the tracks that you're helping with, text wise on the website, do let me know. But I do wanna maybe go over to Golden and Block City. Maybe Block City, if you wanna share. Yeah, maybe I don't know. Do you want to share about your project or with is anything like DeGrants can do for you right now? I know there were some back and forth.
Yep. Hey, Hero Gamer, thank you so much for the chance to speak. Yes, I'm looking forward to working with the team here. I've been connecting with a couple of folks who are in this space. It's been a very good experience. Everyone is very supportive, and I look forward to submit my application.
You are already in Bitcoin Startup Lab, is that right?
Yep, that is correct.
So what kind of application would you be? How can DeGrants actually help you if you're already a little bit further ahead, let's say?
Yeah, I think the breakdown is we're looking for marketing specific messages, like how to tailor them based on the angel users that we have identified. So, working on those communication channels, that's one part. The second part is looking for a quick MVP, which could be done in 3 to 4 days, that establishes the concept of supercharged NFTs and ordinals, and then it can be presented to the investors. So looking for some testnet experience where the community can help in spreading the word, and then we can just kind of boost the whole situation with the investors.
Well, you're in the right room because Rocky's here, and I don't know if you've spoken to Block City. So those two guys basically will get your MVP done, to put simply.
Yep, I'm ready to start.
Yeah, I
Is
think
that
we
right?
yeah, we spoke yesterday, right, Block City. So I did ask you quite a few questions about the platform. So I'm pretty familiar with like NFT based like lending and borrowing, so quite familiar with that space on the sort of the Solana and Ethereum side of things. So we'll probably do some competitor research, right? Sort of just thinking out loud. Seeing what's out there, lay of the land. We'll look at some sort of Web2 examples on what's the best UI UX sort of experience, and then we can kind of prototype these things out.
Yep, I'll look forward to work with you, Rocky. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm always surprised by what the DeGrants hub turning out to be. Like, it's not just supporting like early project. I think predominantly it's supporting early projects, but even like somebody in Bitcoin Startup Lab can probably benefit from just networking and the talents that we met. I don't want to say they are in DeGrants. DeGrant is, it could disappear tomorrow, but all the talents that we met or network are here, and we can help any project out.
I think it's also that we are a great kickstarting organization, right? Or like program, however you want to call it, and getting towards Bitcoin Startup Lab, right? That's pretty much where you go to the next step. So I think getting all the research and all the key questions lined out, right? That's something that we as DeGrants can help projects like Block City to get ahead of the game, right? So just having that extra advantage, especially like building MVPs or getting in contact with the right people, filter out the little things before going to reach a big audience or actually work towards an audience and grow. Because I think Block City grew quite a lot in following the last couple of days. And it's great to hear that Rocky has been involved as well. I didn't know that. I did know that that Block City has been in contact with some people of my team. So and we were working forward, so it's really cool to see that there's so many people getting involved in projects, and it's almost like really decentralized, so I love this.
Hattie, you just jumped up. Did you want to say something? Do you want to chime in?
Yeah, I was just going to chime in to say that it was following from what Aztec said, that we're very lucky this round that we have so many people from different backgrounds and people that have picked up to support, like in the case with Block City, in helping him with his communication and getting more concise in his messaging and understanding his target audience. And some of the things that I believe maybe he hasn't got exactly out of the startup labs, but luckily we have all of that in-house this year, or this cohort, should I say, the likes of Anzac, and then we obviously have Rocky on board as well to help us on that side.
Block City, have you connected with Grant from Stacks? Well, he's a contractor at Stacks Foundation.
I'm afraid not at this point.
Yeah, if you want some sort of go-to-market sort of guy, he's like the guy. So if you have any communication need, I'm happy to connect you two on that front. Yeah.
Yes, please. I'll look forward to it.
Stuart, do you want to come up? Sorry, we're just like groping everybody into this conversation, and this is sometimes how the DeGrants goes. You just have so many different experts, and everybody help each other out.
And the beauty is,
Brandon?
it really comes from all directions, right? If you take a look, how it's so funny that of course we can use some better organization because everyone can always do better. But if you see what we accomplished in such a short time for DeGrants 2, and that's if you take a look, logo design, how everyone is actually trying to help each other, taking work from each other's plates, or getting into people that is like, hey, I want to apply, I need to know more, and there's so many tracks. But also, all these tracks are collaborating, working together, taking in consideration, like, hey, who can do what. And I really love that vibe. That there's this community sense, and what we're doing, it is, I think this is going to be like a winning formula for the next rounds.
Yeah, Golden. Oh, Stuart, you wanna chime in? I feel like this is the launch party. It's like it's like a run. How do you call it? A preparation for next Tuesday. We are already doing a launch party. And Rocky, are you coming to the launch party on council?
Yeah, I'll try and be there. We'll see how the Web 2 job works out, but I'm flexible.
Yeah,
Is this
it'll be great to have you.
is it
You
going to be
being
online? Is it going to be
it's
online
gonna it's gonna be in council.
in console? Oh, okay. So you're going to be dancing you're going to be dancing, buddy.
Yeah, you can have video calls in council actually, but I mean, if anybody else
then
wanna
then
open
then
a
you're definitely
video,
dancing. Dude,
I don't
there's
know. I don't
going to
know
be a
if
dance.
Golden is
There's going
dressing
to
up.
there's going to be a dance off between you and Staxi.
Oh,
Sorry, Hero, you lose, man. Before you even start, if you have lost, sorry. Can we have an intro? Can we all have a thumbs up for Staxi and a thumbs down for Hero? Sorry, man. I'm sorry. Like, it's.
Oh, dude, he will get like the underdog vote, right? It's like everyone is going to put something up for the winner, right?
Yeah, no.
I'm going to go all in on Hero, right? You never know, crazy monkey dance. You never know,
are
man.
we doing prices or what? Like, we need some, like, I don't know. Do we need some prices there?
Of course you do. Absolutely. My concept on that there. You always bring in people come for the free drink and the free food and the prizes all the time. Doesn't matter what. Even politicians, they come for the free food. So it's you definitely have to have some prizes.
And we have the giveaway master right there, right?
My God, Stuart, you're our giveaway guy. What about? Do you mind like coming up with a couple of? I mean, I'm happy to donate, but I just maybe you can. I don't know if you can help arrange, but
Yeah,
I'm happy
listen.
to donate something.
No problem.
For
We'll
next
figure.
week.
I'll not be there exactly on time, obviously, because we've used obviously whoever organised that didn't look at the what do you call it at our giveaway. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter. Anyway, how's everybody today? He's all keeping well. I want to give a massive shout out to Aztec. Listen, man, what you're doing there is absolutely fabulous. You're really uniting all the memes, giving them something more, a bit more, another inflow of users. Obviously, like as I put up on one of the posts, I don't think people fully understand what you're doing yet, and once they do, it will kick in, because all of a sudden we're going to this metaverse and we're going to this. There's so many gamers online, and to be honest, majority of them have never even heard of anything we do. Like,
Dude, you know what the fun thing is when you do something like this, when like Bitcoin Peppy, right? Just basically reaching out to the project owners, like, hey, do you like this? Do you want us to get your holders into the metaverse? Like, and the first reaction, oh, Yeah, sure, right. And then I give them, yeah, and you know exactly what I mean, right? With also with Corgi with Welsh, right? I give them like a sneak peek. It's like, hey, this is something that we can do for you, right? And then and then I always get like, holy shit, this is so cool, right? Can't wait to try this out. And this, then you get this vibe, you get the search, and but getting people together, what unites us? Blockchain. What unites us even more? Community. And that's what metaverse is all about. It's not about gaming. It's about socializing in a gaming in a virtual environment, where you, and if you combine this, and true metaverse is the combination of having identity, having the ability to connect with people, and having the ability to trade, or to have assets that you can either buy, sell, build, have your own little economy right there, right? And I think that will sink in when people can touch it. But for now, it's like you need the exciting people, because every project needs the early birds. Everyone who ever did any kind of fundraising or any kind of Web3 project, you're going to need that first flock of followers first.
That's exactly right. Like, I mean, and yet again, and as you said there quite rightly, like, I mean, then it is all about community. It is about using all these assets, and all these assets that we have already in place. You know, the massive use of you already have implemented there with the BNS, absolutely fantastic, and all these different elements now. Like, I mean, and yet again, obviously, as we all know, with the meme culture is the fun culture, and so yeah, you'll get that energy going from there.
But you know what the cool thing is? Combining this with Web 2, because that's kind of what we're doing. I'm going to put something in the comments for this space. It's like a sneak peeky, right?
For me, I just can't wait to the metaverse. I can't wait to be taller and skinnier. No more diets.
I think Rocky is like super good at thinking about how to connect to Web 2. So I know you probably already connected, Rocky. So hey Binaya, what's up?
Hey, hello. How's everyone? I'm good. Thank you. How are you, Hero?
Yeah, great. I just opened the application, so if you want to apply for anything, Binaya, I know you're also a steward,
Yeah.
but yeah, feel free to apply. Yeah.
Awesome. Just seeing that tweet on the Nest here, so we'll look through the application and definitely submit it. We're excited that these applications are open now. So this is the DeGrants party, or it's next week? It's not this one, right?
This is the pre-party
Pre-party.
that, well,
Okay.
it's just a space that we every Friday, all the stewards, the lead stewards, or the contributor come together in the same room, right? So we try to make it like 3 p.m. because otherwise Good Kitty will be too late for her.
Okay.
And then it's not too early for Golden. I don't know if Golden's there, but I knew 3 p.m. is Trust Machine Space, but it's really hard to find other time that suits everybody. So every Friday we come together and we talk about what's going on this week in your track, and also just give each other shout outs. So we decided to combine the space with Trust Machine this week. Yeah, but next Tuesday, 2 p.m. ET, we're gonna host a launch party on Council. So yeah, everybody is invited, by the way. Everybody
Awesome.
down there, if you're interested, follow me, and there's a link to the invite.
Awesome. Also, I'm seeing shout outs for people from around the ecosystem for all the good work folks been doing. So while I'm up here, I want to take this opportunity to shout out to Hero, Stewart, Gordon, Good Kitty, Crossfire, Aztec, and lots of people from Aztec. Rocky, I see you down there, and I always see you up in the stage and spreading the knowledge. So keep doing what you're doing. So kudos to folks that are heads down building a system for folks that are coming in building on Bitcoin. So I'm here with you all. I'll do anything I can do to support this cause. And thank you all for being here.
Yeah, no, shout out to you as well because I want to share a little story with about Binaya. He applied last time. He didn't get the funding, but he pushed forward, continue with his project, his Builders Academy, teaching uh, coders how to code Clarity, or teaching students, working with students at university to teach them about Clarity. He didn't get the funding, but never mind. He carried on. He's been like 3 years in the ecosystem or more, and he made that happen. And then it's now round two, right? Where you already found some funding through governments or partnership or university partnerships, which is just like the type of people that we want in the ecosystem. You know, people who apply didn't get it, and then maybe just like, okay, like, you know, fuck it, I'm not gonna help you with your Stacks ecosystem. I don't think that is the right sort of attitude, but like I think Benaya demonstrated like a good model and good attitude where, okay, I didn't get the funding, but I never mind, I push forward. And just like now you're on to the round two. You know, would love to help out in some kind of ways through DeGrants. But yeah, is that sort of roughly correct?
Yes, that's very accurate. Thank you for the backstory, Hero. Yes, we're in the ecosystem and helping builders, not just for a chance at winning these grants award from foundations, although that would be nice. But we continue to do the work and continue to onboard people. So we'll continue to do that and make the space welcoming for folks that want to join.
Gordon, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was just wasn't following the calendar. I actually thought it was at 6 a.m. my time, so turned up a bit late, but that's okay. I like to listen to everyone's contribution, so it's quite often, it's great to just listen sometimes, especially when you've got to lead a group and listening to everybody else is more important than speaking ourselves.
Is
But
there any?
something I don't know if you covered it earlier, but in regards to the launch party, that is, I guess, a couple of things. A collaboration with Console to help them. I guess the whole track for community and governance is collaboration. I think that's one of our key values that we got here, and so even collaborating with Console to help them build out their events platform. So, we're taking a risk. It's not on Twitter. It's not on X. So we'll see how that goes. But it will enable everyone that attends. So if you want to attend, I guess the reason you use the ticketing is that one, it does require that you put in your email address. There was a question about that. We did discuss it yesterday as to whether that should be the case or not. But all of the actual follow through is linked to the email. So, the where to go. There was a couple, just can't remember the main reason. It was basically to communicate back to you about the event because it doesn't really have the actual event link on the ticketing page. But the reality is that the event is just going to be held in the main Stacks DeGrants on the homepage. So if you don't get a ticket, you can still join by going to the Start Live Spaces. So there's no stopping anyone coming in. But if you want to participate in the rewards that might come from going into the ticketing, so we will have a Power App for the event. And, I wouldn't be surprised if there's other drops that come from that. So when you go into the ticketing, you put in your email address, you get a choice to put in your BNS domain, and you get a choice to put in your Stacks address. So we're able to drop those down in a CSV file to then send over to Gamma to do a mint or, use it to do some drops if that was going to be the case. So yeah, that would be one of the great reasons to be getting an actual ticket. Otherwise, yep, you go to the main page and start live spaces. You just go there and it will be live. You don't have to log in. You just go to the DeGrants Stacks page and it will be happening there. Hattie will be heading to emceeing for us on that day. So we're still yet to plan out what will be happening on the day. I know that we've got some music artists that'll be dropping in, so there should be some tunes there. But yeah, I think it's doing some officials I guess this is the informal opening, but there'd be some officials. Get to meet hopefully all the stewards can be there and contributors, but obviously we've got a clash with another space, so we'll see who turns up. And yeah, and then have you covered that hero? There'll also be Will from the foundation will be talking about critical bounty grants. So I think that's in the first hour. But after that, we'll send some new news out to you. But Hattie, Good Kitty, and I'll get together. I think in the next 48 hours, and we'll have that all organised.
Yeah, let me know. I'm also gonna have to jump into the doc a little bit as well. So just to see where we can. Well, I'm happy to help out on the planning side. So just pull me in whenever. I already made some comments on that doc. But yeah, thank you so much, Gordon, for organizing this. It's an amazing event. It's going to be really good. And already we have 19 people signed up. So yeah, it's just good to trial. And yeah, just want to sort of remind everybody, if everybody can help sort of share with their friends the invite, that'll be really great. Just to let's get a good launch and get awareness out about building in stacks, building for Bitcoin. It's what we're here for. I mean, we could help even if DeGrants can help council. I just feel like that's pretty amazing. Help. We are essentially like a bit testers for them, and why not leverage that group power to help council?
Yeah, that's excellent. I actually asked Rocky to jump into the marketing team there. I think one of the the main reason was actually shipping things. So, for example, a lot of people here, obviously, from Stacks and in the ecosystem a lot, but not actually knowing how to, about the event or how to get to the event or the like. So this is a good test to see how effective your actual marketing is of this event. So if we get a few signups, then not a lot of signups, then it's probably likely that we didn't get it to communicate it in a way that's really effective. Because when you move to a totally new platform like Console, that is the fear of people moving their communities over to another communication space, that who will come over or who will find them. So we got some tips from Stuart the other day just about how to post, not to post long, what to post, how to gain that traction. So that was the sort of just a couple of tips that we're looking for there in anyone helping the marketing department know how to ship in an effective manner.
Yeah, no, super cool to not just like create initiative, but also now we are sharing best practices with each other. I just think I just cannot believe how it's turned out to be. It's so different to cohort one. Good Kitty's been there forever, helping from day zero, and she and you have seen the evolution. And I just think like this is like we jumped like 2 floors, 3 floors from cohort one. It just for me just amazing to see. So really appreciate everybody's help. But maybe David is here. Maybe before we end, maybe go to David, and then maybe we just end with like share your shout out of the week or of the day with each other. Maybe Brandon can also share his shout out, Trust Machines or Long Street, whoever. But yeah, maybe let's go to David first.
Are we doing shout outs, or do you need me to? Is there specific? I sorry, I had to jump on a call. What was the?
Is there anything you wanna chime in on, talked about? Have you checked out the the blurb I put together with your document, and how is that looking?
Yeah, no.
I
I
don't
think
think.
yeah, I'm happy to make comments. I think the site looks great. Again, kudos to Grant for doing all the work there, and the others. All that stuff that's happening looks amazing. Looks clean. Yeah, the verbiage looks good. Yeah, I think the only thing I would say is I'm super excited for the next, what we got, like 6 more weeks, and I'm super excited for the Mondays. Do my best to participate in all the spaces. I'm again going to encourage all the leads and stewards. I think that again, the more that we can reach out and encourage people to apply, encourage them to engage on spaces, and really just have them promote themselves on X, and really get all the projects seen, and really try to help them fill in any gaps, and just kind of create that openness and collaboration. And even if there's new projects, old projects, maybe there's a notion of reviving old projects, getting anything we can do to help them. And so I think we're all really excited for those calls, those weekly calls, to encourage new people to come out, kind of have the conversations, trying to source any new, old, etc. But that's kind of what I'm excited about the next 6 weeks or so, and I'm really excited to do soon as they start all those applications to come in, and we can get, again, all that. It's, again, the process is amazing, so we get to review them as a group and a community, and collectively show out there, and we get to hopefully help people coming into this space to submit a grant that will get them started, right? And not only do we want them to start, but we also want to encourage them to stay around, and really involve themselves in the ecosystem. And I hope that DeGrants is that first ecosystem. I know that we have the bigger stacks ecosystem, but at least with the DeGrants, that ecosystem can be their first entry point, and we can help them. And then there's other entry, right? Obviously, there's so many tracks. I think there's 6 of them, but hopefully all those tracks can kind of mesh well, and they already are, and we can mesh and help all the new people, and even existing people, and OGs, at whatever they might need, just to give them some more support in the space. So that's pretty much all I have to say. But super excited for the next coming weeks, and I'm sure we'll see a ton of promotions, ton of shout outs, ton of projects. And it just seems like a really great, DeGrants is a really great project to be a part of.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely, one of the agenda item is on Tuesday, and if you guys can think ahead, and I think what you just said is absolutely correct. Is that on Tuesday I'd love to share some tips to help those people who are applying, and such as being on spaces. I think is probably a big one. But yeah, any tips all you leaders can think of for your track to help the people succeed, do share them on Tuesday, please. Yeah, so maybe how about we wrap it up? Brandon kindly allow me for all this time to take over. Sorry about that, but yeah, DeGrants tend to have just so much to talk about, and where we can fill the hole and help people. So yeah, Hattie, you have your hand up.
Yeah, thank you, Hero. I just wanted to do a shout out to Photonk for the week, for the hard work he's done, and pushing the stuff out to the marketing and getting it so we can all share it and reminding us. I also want to say to Gordon, thank you very much. Gordon, in the background, a lot of people don't see all the hard work you do put in. So thank you, Gordon, because I do see it in the background. Aztec, the same. I wanted to shout out to you for all the back channels you work for us and moving things along for us. Good Kitty, thank you very much for onboarding lots of artists, and bringing some visibility to us as well. Crossfire, for the spaces that you host. That's amazing. I do enjoy it when you're in the spaces. Rocky, as always, in the background, helping us all, driving it forward, making sure that we understand how to onboard more people from Web 2, and also your expertise in marketing and web design. Blockface has dropped off. Blockface, I want to give a shout out to him as well. We did some amazing work together again, him and I, building out a lot of things in the background as well to try and support and build tools for the community, as well as Rocky's involved with that. And Davek, as always, I really enjoy being on spaces with you and learning. You do share so much information with people, so I really want to give you a shout out for the amount of information you share with all of us, and to bring us up, the people who are new to Stacks, and bring us up to speed very quickly. And last but not least, the hero, the commander of the Avengers. Thank you very much for all the support you do in the back as well for us and picking up the things that we can't move and progress. So thank you, hero.
Thank you, guys. Anybody else want to do shout out? I'd love to hear from Brandon. What shout out do you have? Maybe, some people behind the scene in Trust Machine that we don't, we know out here every day, but, super important people as well. Brandon, do you have any shout outs?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to a few folks on our team that are currently at Consensus, kind of representing both Trust Machines and Leather, but also just Stacks in general. Specifically, want to shout out Shaylee, who's on our partnerships team. She joins the space here pretty often, every Friday that we do this show. But she is specifically looking to partner with folks, so she's kind of on the ground floor over the past couple of days at Consensus, having some conversations, and probably still early to announce some certain things, but there are some things cooking basically, and she is a large part of that. So definitely shout out to her, and of course shout out to Hero Gamer. I think we've given you a lot of kudos on this space, but you are really just such a great part of this community. So I'm really happy to hand the floor to you today, to lead this space for the most part. And yeah, thank you so much.
Anybody else want to do shout outs?
Yeah, I'd like to do a couple shout outs. It's not all the time that you got the skills or the experience to step up and do something like lead a track. So, I thank good Kitty for shining a light. She's like a week ahead of everything that we're doing in community and governance. So you provide us a really cool guidebook for us to build out. And so yeah, we've got a lot of work to do in our track. But yeah, I want to shout out to Sam down there, who's helped me get build community and actually get the skills and run a Twitter space and the like. So yeah, I had absolutely zero skills in that regard when I started out with Stacks Australia in a way. So it was a big shout out to sort of people that have helped me get here along the way. It was interesting. Like when I first came into Stacks, algorithm I think was in the Discord, just doing all this stuff, and I used to wonder who's getting paid to do all this stuff. So I think there's a lot of unsung heroes here that'll be participating in Stacks. So if you've got some unsung heroes, make sure you shout out to those. I know Hero started that, so yeah, it's not just the people up in the front in the spotlight that need to be remembered and as in and elevated. So thanks to all those people really behind the scenes.
Feel free to jump in, guys. Any last shout outs before we close?
Yeah, I'd like to say one shout out to pretty much echoing everything that Hadi said, and shouted out to everyone here: Hero, Gordon, Rocky, Good Kitty, Crossfire, for his explanations. But I would like to use my shout out for Hadi, because he is so supportive of everybody else that I've noticed, either on X or in console or in DMs. So yeah, my shout out is for Hadi for supporting everybody else here.
Yeah, I can second that. He definitely is the one proactive one, not waiting for somebody to, who needs help, then go and help. It's more like, okay, I hear you got this challenge. Let me arrange a call with you, see how I can help you out. So I really appreciate his proactiveness, not waiting for things to happen, but he makes things happen. So I really value that attitude. That's super cool.
Yeah, and if I can just chime in, that's why I thought that Addy would be a great place to lead the DeGrants opening, because he seems to be everywhere. I think he'd know more about DeGrants than anyone here, other than Hero. So hats off to you,
No,
Addy.
I think I know less about DeGrant than Hattie now. Like he's literally everywhere. I'm like behind this week. I've been like sitting in front of the computer thinking about what to write, and it's a little bit boring for me. I prefer to talk to people.
I just want to give an additional shout out, besides, of course, those already mentioned, right, to Trust Machines and Letter. I love how the synergy is going there. And of course, we're using Console for DeGrants, and Letter is, of course, like the tool for all our developers. And I love that there's so much. We are like a real fam here. Everyone has their own objectives and have their own skills and everything. Everyone adds their value to DeGrants, including the people that submit their applications. So I'm very happy that also those people that take those tracks seriously, I haven't met anyone so far in DeGrants that wasn't open for suggestion, and moving towards like a better project from management to actually scoping. And that's a tough challenge. So definitely for the people that are submitting their applications, I'm very really proud, and I think that we're going to get really far with this. And special thanks for Hero, who's been connecting everyone. You do your name justice. I have said it many times before, and I will keep saying this. You link so many people, and it is the grit what you bring to DeGrants. I meet a lot of people, and I've met a lot of people, and I can tell you are one of a kind. So that's my biggest shout out for this one.
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna give a couple shout outs to some folks. I want to shout out to those that are on. There's a couple of you guys on stage like Photog or Devek or Rocky, but I also want to give some shout outs to like Trippin' Monkey and Zero and other people that come up on stage and bring like brand new ideas. They like take that risk. Like there's a lot of people that are very passionate about stacks, but there's also a lot of people that kind of just are worried to bring those ideas to the forefront. And I can always count on those guys bringing positive energy and enthusiasm and ideas to the stage when we're doing brainstorming sessions or trying to think through how to solve a problem. And that's like super valuable. And I know there's others of you out there too. Just be confident to come on stage and do those sorts of things, because that's the kind of stuff that really makes a difference. I think those guys all exemplify it. So thank you guys for that.
Yeah, I just want to add to exactly what you just said there. There's one guy who's been a massive help to myself with everything behind the scenes, and we don't see him too much up on stage, or whatever. And that's a guy called High Roller, and he's for me he's an absolute gent, a wealth of knowledge, and as always with every project and is in there, helping, with technicalities, business advice, etc. So a massive shout out to High Roller. So yeah, I know he's not here to appreciate to accept that there, but still, it's he's one of the unsung heroes.
And if I can also please just add Nieta. She's worked with Photog to create the branding for the DeGrants. So I think before we go, we should give her a little special thank you and shout out for everything that she also contributes very much behind the scenes. But she's joined me as co-lead on the NFT space, and I love working with her. We do a show together every Tuesday. She's an incredible girl. So thank you to you, Nieta.
Absolutely, thanks, good kitty. Yeah, I did mention Nieta earlier also, I think before you joined maybe, so that's fair enough. And Nieta was here, but I think she had to go, so apologies. But yeah, massive shout out to Nieta and a big round of applause for the awesome branding logo that she came up with. So fantastic, great to work with her.
And I think just in general, I think just everybody who's actually here and the people who aren't actually here, I just think, I think actually, clap yourselves in the back, because if we didn't do this here, if you didn't do this here, who else would be doing it? Usually the people who actually get off, it's a Friday, for me, it's like, it's a Friday evening for a lot of, also for Aztec, could be out partying or bars or doing something else. But we're here, at the grindstone. So I want to say, what do you call it? It's just a thanks to everybody for making this a cool place. So it's as Hero says, once you come here, you just don't want to leave. It is the Hotel California.
I think that's the goal, right? Like anybody we collect from, that's what in my head, that's how I picture it. Like if anybody from the meetup, we're able to send them somewhere and collect them and help them stay. Anybody from the hackathons, we have so many different type of stuff. We got Ready Layer 2 hackathon, meetups, online Twitter Spaces. So I would hope we have ways to keep everybody who joins the ecosystem, like from starting from the curious, and even the people who didn't win the hackathons. That's who I'm thinking really, because those people who win the hackathon, they might have more reason to say. But those people who didn't win, those were the people who didn't win the Ready Layer 2. Where are they now? I would love to, have them in the ecosystem as well. That's the yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I keep coming back to the DeGrants spaces, right? We host a lot of spaces with the syndicate and the artist groups, as well as all the AI people in the other spaces, right? And I'm like never afraid to share about stacks, right? Because it's a great community. Big shout out to everyone, right? I've been in a lot of different like blockchain, like Web3 communities, and so typically there's like a talking head and everyone just kind of listens to what they say. But I just love it here because everyone has a voice, right? We're all just trying to build awesome networks and applications and products and useful things, right? And it's really cool. I continue to come back, and the shout out to the front end team in the back, Aiden and Christina. They're hard at work, working with the Zero Authority guys in the background, but they're learning a lot, and we're looking to open source that, so the community can kind of reuse and build upon these things. And so, onward and into the future, brighter things.
Well, thank you so much, Rocky. Yeah, no, your expertise is much appreciated here. In my opinion, like, yeah, we just don't have enough of you, and you are super welcoming as well. Like, you're willing to help people out. It's super cool, and your skill set. Yeah, your experience. But yeah, thank you so much, Rocky. Yeah, shall we perhaps end it here? I mean, I don't know if Long Street is still there. Long Street, are you there? Um, yeah, just want to pin the tweet to the top. Actually, in 2 minutes, our OG, Dan, is going to have his Twitter space every Friday, 5 p.m. ET. Actually, it's probably the longest running Twitter space in the whole world that he's been running since Blockstacks days. So every Friday, 5 p.m. ET, he's always there. So actually, a big shout out to him. I'm just trying to find the link, and I'll pin it to the top. Give me a sec. So if anybody want to join, feel free. It's free. And next Tuesday is our space. So yeah, go to Dan's space, chat with Dan. He's super smart, a developer as well. If you need any help, he's happy to help you. Yeah. So maybe Brandon, do you wanna take it away?
Yeah, I'll just give one final shout out. Thanks for everybody for joining today. Normally, this is a show that we do every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, where we recap sort of the events of the week. Special shout out to the DeGrants folks for taking over our space today. Happy to host you. And yeah, we will see you next week for another round of really great Twitter spaces. On the Trust Machines and Leather side, we have Leather Lounge on Wednesday that is hosted by Longstreet, and then yeah, this show, which is every Friday. So looking forward to seeing you guys there next week, and have a great weekend. Thanks for coming. Thank you for listening. We record Good for Bitcoin live every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on X. Please follow us at Trust Machines Co. if you would like to listen and engage with us live. Visit us at trustmachines.co for all the latest Bitcoin news. We'll see you next week.